Nanguna ang Pilipinas sa may highest disaster risk dahil sa natural events at epekto ng climate change. Nakakuha ang Pilipinas ng mataas na puntos sa exposure, vulnerability, susceptibility, kakulangan ng coping at adaptive capacity sa harap ng pangasakuna.
Disaster is the worst enemy that humankind may encounter in their lifetime. It can kill hundreds of people in just one snap. People contributed so much to this tragic event of nature that they can no longer end the climate change caused by growing modernization. In the province of Nueva Ecija, city of Cabanatuan, Barangay Barrera, different types of hazards are present in the area, such as floods, air pollution, and thermal extremes. These hazards are dangerous to the residents of the said place, especially to the children and elderly.
Cabanatuan City is known as the tricycle capital of the Philippines, with over 30,000 registered tricycles and more than 70,000 registered vehicles.
Air pollution occurs when fuel burns in an internal combustion engine. Carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and hydrocarbons are released. They may be released as well when vehicle tailpipes emit air and fuel residuals, which are harmful to people's health and environment.
We are now in Cabanatuan Terminal. As we all know that these vehicles in the background emit smoke that causes air pollution that destroys our ozone layer.
He is Vigilio Isagire de Maandal, 44 years old, a resident of Barangay Barrera who is a jeepney driver in Cabanatuan Terminal. He experiences the negative effect of air pollution on their health, which affects the daily lives of the residents including his family.
So sir, ilan taon na po kayo namamasabi?
5 years.
5 years na po. Maliban po sa may barangay na to na may sakop po sa terminal, ano-ano pa po kaya yung dahilan kung bakit prone yung lugar na to sa air pollution?
Tapos dito yung central terminal, maraming sasakyan, air pollution ng mga sasakyan. Tapos maliban pa doon, yung mga karatik na barangay, nagsusunog din sila ng mga plastic.
Kaya po pala.
Kaya maraming air pollution din sa central terminal.
Tatay Vigilio claims that because of air pollution, residents are more susceptible to respiratory diseases.
Meron po ba kayong ways or plans para po ma-mitigate yung air pollution?
Meron. Yung pagtatanim, unang-una yung pagtatanim ng mga puno, mga halaman. Pagtatapon ng basura ay segregation, may tamang tapunan. Tapos pagbabawal sa mga nagsusunog ng mga plastic.
He added that some of them wear face masks to avoid breathing in the harmful emissions from vehicles.
Most of the passengers are not wearing a face mask for protection because they are used for inhaling air pollution despite their awareness of how it affects their physical health.
So tay, ano naman po yung advantage po ng barangay niyo po sa pag-iwas sa air pollution? Ano po yung isinasagawa ng lugar niyo po para maiwasan po yung hazard na ito?
Gumagawa yung isang barangay ng mga ordinansa para sa pag-iwa-hiwalay ng mga plastic, saka mga biodegradable, saka yung hindi nabubulok, pinag-ihiwalay yun, kinuha ng isang truck, tapos may first offense, second offense, saka third offense. Pag nahuli, di siyempre magmumulta sila, gano'n.
Regardless of how much the vehicles contribute to air pollution, he believes that waste management is the best way to address it.
Sa tingin niyo po, ano-ano po kaya yung negatibong effect ng ano po? O posible pong matamasa ng barangay mula po sa may air pollution?
Yung magkakasakit yung mga bata, mga tao, magkakasakit yung mga malapit dito sa Central Terminal.
Barangay Barrera tends to be more at risk to the illnesses caused by air pollution, such as lung cancer, heart disease, stroke, and respiratory infections.
Tay, may mga action po ba na ginagawa yung mga namumuno po dito sa inyo?
Meron, binabawal na yung mga maitimang usok ng mga sasakyan.
According to Tatay Vigilio, the implementation of waste management and the banning of jeepneys with dark smoke are part of the barangay's DRRM plan.
Ano po sa tingin nyo yung posibleng gawin ng barangay nyo para yung hazard na ito ay hindi na maging laganap?
Sa tingin ko, bawal na gumamit ng mga straw, mga plastic sa aming barangay para hindi na lumaganap yung mga pagsusunog ng mga plastic. Tapos segregation, mga plastic, tapos yung mga di nabubulok saka nabubulok ay magkahiwalay yon para pag masunog man yung mga dahon hindi siya plastic kasi yung plastic talaga matindi talaga sa air pollution. Tapos dapat may araw-araw may araw na FWF ganun na may maghahakot ng basura para sa tamang tapunan. Yun lang.
Air pollution, which is caused by a variety of factors including transportation, industry, and agriculture, can lead to respiratory and cardiovascular problems, as well as contribute to climate change.
Efforts to reduce air pollution include transitioning to cleaner energy sources, improving transportation efficiency, and regulating emissions from industry and agriculture.
The biggest environmental health risk in the world today is air pollution, and we are to blame for it. Although we can stop it from spreading, we can lessen the impact by acting as responsible citizens.
Floods are the most common type of natural disaster. It occurs when a stream of water submerges in dry land. Floods are often caused by heavy rainfall or storm surge from a tropical cyclone.
She is Olivia Dalundon, 65 years old, one of the residents who live in a flooded-prone area in the barangay. We asked about her experiences with the previous flood that her family had encountered.
Ilang taon na ho kayo naninirahan dito, nanay?
Dito sa Kabanatuan?
Opo, dito po sa barangay.
Itong barangay lang ito. 2005. Sige, 18.
18 po.
Ito
18 years po.
tagal na ako dito. Dito ako pinanganak. Kabanatuan. Dito ako nag-aral. Dito ako nag-aral.
Nanay Olivia shared to us that the occurrence of heavy rainfall consistently subjects their family to flooding, evoking feelings of fear and distress. The enduring memories of these flood events resurface with each rainfall, intensifying the emotional strain. The challenging experiences with flooding have significantly compounded the difficulties faced by Nanay Olivia and her family during rainy days.
Hanggang saan naman po yung inaabot yung baha dito?
Dito sa Kartada, inaabot ng hanggang Bewang naman. Doon naman sa baba, inaabot ng Lapuesta. Kasi mababa yun dito medyo mataas na konti. Inaabot ng Bewang. Ewan ko ngayon, susundabahan ito kasi may Kartada na . Pero yung sa baba, hindi magpapago.
Floods can be highly dangerous, causing loss of life, property damage, and disruption to communities, especially when not evacuated early.
Madalas po ba bumabaha sa lugar niyo or may bagyo lang po?
Pagka may bagyo, automatic yan, di ba? Kung ulan lang dito magmumula, hindi binabaha. Pero kung sa bundok magmumula, ang bagyo sa amin.
Sa pagbagyo lang po.
Nanay Olivia claims that Super Typhoon Karding is primarily the reason for the severe overflowing flood that residents have experienced in the past few years.
Nay, ano-ano naman po yung mga kahinaan ng lugar niyo kaya madalas bumabaha? Bukod po sa mababa po.
Pagka sa pangano yun, mga basura nga hindi nalilinis, saka yung mga water lily, hindi nalilinis, automatic, hindi dadali na maganda yung tubig. Di ba? Ang kailangan, malinis, magawa ang drainage.
Despite being in a low-lying area, the barangay has been found to have inadequate drainage, which explains why floods are a common occurrence.
Ano po yung mga kaparaanan niyo para kahit papaano po mabawasan yung dulot po ng pagbaha sa lugar ninyo?
Kailangan mabigyan niya na action itong drainage, saka yung mga nakapagpapa, yung basura. Kailangan ayos.
Bali lang po talaga ang problema, yung
Drainage.
pag-ayos po ng tubig.
Oo. Kasi pag yung tubig tumaas, tapos biglang makahundo, kailangan hanggang sa diretso. Kasi iba naiipon dito na yung back sa baba.
We asked Nanay Olivia if the barangay has a proper DRR plan to mitigate flood in their areas. According to her, there is a pre-existing DRRM plan in the barangay.
But the proper drainage system is not yet implemented in the area.
Sa mga advantage nyo, nanay, ano ang posibleng aksyon yung maaari nyong gawin sa pagbawas ng epekto sa baha po?
Di basura. Una-una, basura. Tapos, pagka dumalaha, kailangan yung mga kalalit na kaltero doon, diretso yung lahat.
Effective drainage is crucial to reduce the risk of flooding because it helps manage excess water by directing it away from vulnerable areas. Adequate drainage also safeguards against soil erosion, infrastructure damage, and potential health hazards associated with stagnant water.
Kailangan malinis, magawa ang drainage. Yun ang nakaprograma kay Kapitan Carlos.
Flood, which can be caused by heavy rainfall, storm surge, or other factors, can result in property damage, loss of life, and long-term economic impacts.
Climate change is expected to exacerbate the frequency and severity of floods in many parts of the world, making it important to invest in infrastructure and planning measures to mitigate their impacts.
The most common natural disaster in the country is flooding, which can occur anywhere and at any time. Even it is inevitable, we are still able to prevent it by installing drainage system and adding more trees to our environment.
As a tropical nation in Southeast Asia, the Philippines is subject to thermal extremes in the form of high temperatures and heat waves. The country's topography, geographic location, and dominant weather patterns are some of the variables that affect these heat extremes. In the close-knit community of Barangay Barrera, the residents find themselves in the embrace of a unique geographical setting that exposes them to the challenges of thermal extremes.
We meet Nanay Gigi De La Cruz, 41 years old, who is struggling to cope with the thermal extreme.
So ngayon po ay kasama natin si Aling Gigi na isa rin pong residente dito sa Barangay Barrera para po tanungin tungkol sa thermal extreme na kinakaharap din nila ngayon dito sa sabing barangay. So, Aling Gigi, nakakaranas po ba kayo ng sobrang pag-init dito sa barangay ninyo?
Ako, mainit po. Sobrang init-initan. Yung mga tao sobrang init, nakakasakit.
According to the data from the Weather Bureau Pag-asa, Cabanatuan City recorded the highest temperature in the Philippines in 2016 at 52.3 degrees Celsius.
Sa ano po, nakaranas na po ba kayo ng sakit? Nakakuha na po ba kayo ng sakit dahil sa init dito sa lugar ninyo?
Opo, yung anak ko yun, anak kong babae, tapos anak kong panganay, may sakit.
As thermal extremes persist in Barangay Barrera, the vulnerability of its young residents becomes apparent, with an increasing number of children falling ill due to the relentless heat waves.
Sa tingin niyo po, bakit po sobrang init dito sa barangay ninyo? Ano po yung mga nagiging dahilan kung bakit sobrang init po?
Ano po, sobrang walang ganong hangin, tapos ang sobrang mataas ang init, tapos walang ganong hangin, yung mga tao nagkakasakit, sobrang lakas ng sobrang init ngayon, na high blood yung mga tao, mga bata, inubot sipon.
As stated by Nanay Gigi, increasing modernization is the cause of the removal of trees, which raises the temperature in the said barangay.
Insufficient cooling measures and green spaces worsen the health impact on children in Barangay Barrera, leading the community to seek focused solutions for protecting the well-being of its youngest members from the harsh effects of high temperatures.
Ano po yung pwedeng maging action niyo po?
Iwasan ng bigla ng mainit, magtanim ng mga kahoy para malilim, iwasan yung sobrang init. Ang mga gilid-gilid ng mga daan, magtanim tayo ng mga kahoy matas ng mga puno para bigla ng mainit.
In response to the stifling heat, residents should initiate projects focused on planting trees in homes and public spaces, promoting natural airflow and providing a cooler environment.
Ano po yung nagiging sobrang anhi po ng sobrang init sa pamumuhay niyo po?
Masakit po, masakit sa balat.
Ano po yung naging epekto ng hanap buhay po?
Ayan po, yung di makapaghanap buhay, sobrang init. Tapos, ang naramdaman mo, sasakit ang ulo mo, sobrang init. Tapos, nalagnatin ka.
Residents in Barangay Barrera are getting sick, especially with heat strokes, as they work diligently in the scorching heat. The lack of proper cooling measures is putting their health at risk.
Thermal extremes are a concern in the Philippines, particularly during the hot and humid summer months. Thermal extremes, including heat waves and cold spell, can also have serious health impacts, particularly on vulnerable population, such as the elderly and those with pre-existing medical conditions.
Climate change is expected to increase the frequency and severity of heat waves in many regions, making it important to take proactive measures to reduce the heat exposure and improve access to cooling.
One of the most prevalent phenomena that the Filipinos are facing in thermal extremes, particularly every summer. Despite the fact that we are incapable of stopping it from happening, we can always prevent its negative effect by staying hydrated and using umbrellas to protect ourselves from ultraviolet rays from the sun.
Air pollution, floods, and thermal extremes are all serious environmental issues that can have significant impacts on human health, ecosystems, and infrastructure.
Addressing these environmental issues requires a combination of policy and technological solutions as well as changes in individual behavior and consumption patterns. It is important to prioritize strategies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change, while also addressing the immediate threats posed by air pollution, floods, and thermal extremes.